Alright guys, today we're going to evaluate trig functions of any angle, anywhere on the coordinate plane. I need you to really watch this closely, really carefully. Alright, general definitions. What you're going to see now is they're going to give you a point somewhere in the coordinate plane, like we've been doing right there. And they're going to ask you to find what the angle is that it makes. Okay, we talked about the angles the other day, yesterday, or today, how to make the angles. And those angles end up in a point like that on the circle. You can see the circle. And that point right there has an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate. And the distance to that point from the origin is called r. It stands for radius, by the way. If you think about that, that makes a circle, and that's the radius. So r, that's r. And if you look at it more carefully, you go this far on the x-axis, that's the x, that far on the y-axis to get to the point, and that means r is the hypotenuse. So let me give you this. There it is right there. That's how you find r. R squared is x squared plus y squared. Please write that down. You're going to need that constantly. Now, I'm going to try to drill in your head tomorrow and through this video. Sine is y. Sine is y over r. Cosine is x. X over r. Tangent is just, remember, opposite over adjacent. It's just y over x. And here's, if you look at the angle, opposite's the y, adjacent's the x. Should make a little bit of sense there. And these are just reciprocals. We're not going to worry too much about those today, but mainly these. Sine is y, cosine is x, both over r. Tangent's y over x, opposite over adjacent. The way you find r, x squared plus y squared. All right, here's how we're going to use it. Let -4, 3 be a point on the terminal side of an angle theta in center position. Evaluate the 6 trig functions. Okay, we don't even have to draw the picture, but we cannot do it unless we know r. So here's what r squared is. R squared is x squared, which would be 16, because that's 4 squared, plus y squared, which is 3 squared, which is 9. So r squared would be 25. Take the square root, r is 5. There's my r. That's all I need. I need my x and my y and my r. Remember, sine is y. Sine is y. So look at the point. The point is 3. It's y over r. Cosine is x. The x is -4. -4 over 5. Tangent, the way you do tangent is you do y over x, which would be 3 over -4 or -3/4. The other one's just reciprocals. Cosecant's reciprocal of sine. Secant is reciprocal of cosine. And cotangent is reciprocal of tangent, -4/3. All right, if you need to watch that slide again, please do. Unit circle is our favorite thing to use. I'm going to give you a picture of this tomorrow in class for you to use on your test. You're welcome. On Friday. The unit circle is when r is 1. When you have a circle or a point is on this circle and r is 1, or the radius is 1. And if that's the case, then sine is just y. It's not y over r. It really is y over r, but if r is 1, sine is just y. Cosine is really x over r, but if r is 1, cosine is x. That's the beauty of the unit circle. If it's a unit circle, cosine is just the x-coordinate, sine is just the y-coordinate. Okay, so they're going to give us one here. This is a unit. We won't worry about this one. That is a unit circle right there. And it's going to ask you the same thing we just did. But what I know here is the radius is 1. Okay, so that means if that's the case, sine is just the y-coordinate, or -3. Cosine is just the x-coordinate, or +3. Tangent is y over x always, which would be -3 over 3, which is going to be -1. Tangents, well, over there. Cosecant, obviously just reciprocal of sine. Secant, just reciprocal of cosine as always. And cotangent, just reciprocal of tangent. And reciprocal of -1 is -1, so it's exactly the same in that case. All right, so that's the beauty of a unit circle. If it's a unit circle, r is 1, that's your sine, that's your cosine. All right, reference angles. This is a big definition, lots of words here. I'm just going to say this for you. Reference angle is the acute angle formed by the angle on the x-axis. Basically, it's this. It has to be acute, which means it's between 0 and 90, or if it's in radians, between 0 and pi/2. But it's how far the angle is away from the x-axis. That's how you got to think about it. How far away is it from the x-axis? Positive. How far away from the x-axis is the angle? Let me show you a couple of examples here. All right, the first one they give me, let's do the degrees first, it's a little bit easier. They give me -130. All right, I want you to think about where -130 is. Remember, that's -90. Sorry, that's not either. That's -180. Don't know what I'm doing. That's -180. That's -90 down there. So -130 would start here. I need to change colors so you can tell what I'm doing. We'll start here, and then we go this way, until, somewhere about halfway between there, there's negative 130. So the question, the reference angle, I'm doing B first, the reference angle for negative 130 is how far away is it from the closest x-axis? Like how far is negative 130 away from negative 180? The answer is it's 50 away. Your answer's got to be positive, and it's got to be an acute angle. It's 50 away. All right, let's do part A. Part A is a little bit backwards. Part A says 5 pi over 3, so I'm going to do the same thing there. There's 0, there's 1 pi. 5 pi over 3, by the way, remember if we made an improper the other day, that's 1 2/3 pi. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to start on the x-axis like always. I'm going to go 1 pi and 2/3 of another. 2/3 is past a half. It's somewhere down there. So there it is. So the question becomes, how far is that angle from the closest x-axis? How far is it from there? All right. Remember, this is 2 pi. 2 pi is the same thing as 6 pi over 3. And that angle right there, remember, was 5 pi over 3. So how far is it from 5 pi over 3 to 6 pi over 3? And the answer is pi over 3. I'm going to give you a hint, a secret here. I hope you're listening. If you're doing radians, for our purposes, the reference angle you can always find just by dropping the top number. That works every time. Just drop the top number. Okay, I didn't really say that though. But it works. Okay, so hope it helps. Please watch this. Go back and watch a little bit of it again if you need to. It's an important video. Oh my goodness, it's so important. A lot of good stuff in there. We'll work on it like I always do. See you tomorrow. Be ready. See you tomorrow.